My experience.
Okay.
Well, I've dated some African men, and they are pushy.
They,
They are pushy. I'm gonna have to agree with that. Yeah,
very
they are
nice, but
pushy.
very, very
Okay,
pushy.
Yeah.
that could be just the way you look
That's
at
a
it as
cultural
being
thing,
pushy.
I think.
No, I think it is a cultural thing.
I think so too.
It might be. Okay, I'm good with
I
that. It
have
might
a
be.
friend that's married to an African guy, and she said that they dated for maybe a year, and he was ready to get married. She said the African culture is depending on what tribe too, because it goes based on tribe. She said that they know what they want, and when they know what they want, they go for it, and they don't waste no time, and they're very consistent. And she said
And
if-
persistent.
when they have in their mind they want you to be their wife, they want you to be their wife.
Yes. Okay.
My
So what about you, Cassie? Would you date? Have you dated outside your race, and would you date and marry? Because we got to think about marriage too. Because I would think that this isn't it the ultimate thing that we just don't want to be hanging out here dating. We want to date where it has some quality and it's moving towards commitment and marriage. So would you have you dated? Would you date and or marry outside your race, Cassie?
When I was younger, I did date outside my race. But you know what? I now that I look at it, maybe it really wasn't dating because of when it lasted, how it went along. I don't know if I would qualify that as dating. But I had that's not my desire right now. I've tried. But I always envisioned myself with a black man. And I don't apologize for that. And I don't really think it limits me. Because I do, like I started out saying, believe there's someone out there for me. But I have tried, but I am drawn to black men. That's my preference. And that's not to say that my preference is somebody that's not the preference is trash or something negative. So,
Okay.
Tia.
Would I date outside my race? I prefer a black man. I really do. And I'm going to say, gosh, that's a hard one because I know what I want, and what I want, I will draw to me. So it will be difficult for me. I know, yeah. What I want, I draw to me. So I really cannot answer that question because I want a black man, and I believe that a black man is out there for me, and I will draw him. And I'll do that just by making sure that I keep myself clear on what it is. I'm clear and I'm accountable all the time, and I believe God will honor that, and that's what I desire. And I know the numbers say what the numbers say. But all things work for the good, and I just believe that. So no, because if I say yes, maybe, then I'm closing the door on my faith, and I'm faithful in that what I say comes to me.
Can I say
So
something?
no.
you can.
You said what I want, I draw to me.
Yes. I become what it is that I want. There is no way that I can draw something that I am not. So if I'm looking for whatever, I got to be those components as well. It's not fair for me to sit back as a woman and not do my work and expect that man to be everything that I've ever wanted. I got to be everything that I'm looking for. So if I commit to my work to be who I'm supposed to be and my very best, God's going to honor that. And the man that comes into my life is going to be the best for me. That doesn't mean he's going to be perfect. That don't mean whatever. He's going to be the best for me.
That's right.
And I stand on that.
So I also saw something posted last week that said we are empowering a lot of healed women for broken men. And there's not a lot of focus on men healing and becoming what what they should be for the woman. And that's true. And I always say, when I think about relationships, sometimes we expect a lot from a man. We expect him to come ready-made. We expect him to know how to love. We expect him to know how to treat me. We expect him to know how to run a household. We expect him to do all these things. But the reality of it is half of them have not had an example of what that looks like. There is this saying, what they see, they will be. And so, what they say, what they see, they will be. So we have all these expectations of expecting a man to know how to love us, know how to treat us, know how to do all this. They have not had that example. And I'm not saying that that's an excuse, but I think once as women, we understand and we don't have this high expectation of them just automatically coming to the table of knowing how to be a man, because we don't just automatically know how to be a woman. That's why we got all these self-empowerment, you know what I'm saying? Women empowerment, so that we can learn and become that. I think that takes a lot of stress off of us as women when we're dating. We don't get as frustrated. We don't get as, not that we give them a pass, but we understand that some of them just have not, they just don't know. They just don't know. Even if they were raised, because I'm not even coming from a broken standpoint of, oh, maybe they didn't have a father in the home. Maybe they had a father in the home, but how was that relationship between the father and the mother? Maybe they never seen their father hug kiss on their mom or love on their mom, or maybe all he was doing. Well, maybe he was a womanizer. Maybe he was just there to be the provider, but he didn't, do anything outside of that from an emotional standpoint. So I think sometimes as women, again, we have this false sense of what a man should be when he comes to us, and we don't really give him that room to grow and learn. But we do need to say, men, just as we as women are empowering ourselves and working on what we want to become, they need to do the same thing, because we can't keep having all these healed women for broken men.
But can I be devil's advocate
Please.
and say, but do we not do that? Are we doing that too much? We're giving so much room to grow, because, I think what I see sometimes with males is that they have been given that room. And they've taken advantage of their, they seem like they're working on this and they're telling you all these good things. And we're giving them this wide open scape to grow, but we really aren't measuring the growth. We stay in these relationships because he said that he's going to go to counseling, or he might be in counseling, but is he changing? Are we looking at the results, or are we just looking at what they're saying that they're going to do versus getting the actual results? Because I do see that we, if you're going to grow, are you doing it? Sorry. Are you doing the things like, are you getting mentoring? Are there other males in your life? Yeah, you may have not come from a home with a male figure, but there are things in place that are out here that you absolutely can do to take care of that. At the same for women. Are you around other women that show you, are in the places that you want to be? So as a single woman, how many married women do you have in your life? Are you in those circles where you're getting that mentoring so that you can grow to these places? Because like you said, you do have to become what you are looking for. But you're not going to get that from being around a bunch of single women that are down in men.
No, I agree. You definitely have to put in the work and do the work. I'm just saying, I think overall, if we continue to remember at the end of the day that we have this high expectation for them to automatically come to the table knowing how to treat us as women and expecting them to do this and that and the other, when reality of it is they just don't know. They may not know.
They may not.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's a small percentage of men that may be broken, but then I also think that there is just a larger percentage that have not made a decision to do it. I don't think it's rocket science to know how to treat someone well and with respect. I think it comes down to a decision that you make. And when you decide to do something, you put to death any other options to do it differently. So I think it's a decision that most intelligent people know how to treat people well.
And I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
listen and to be open to communication.
But how you treat your mom and how you treat your husband is two different things.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. So you could treat me well as a person.
The common theme is respect and decency. That's the common theme between how I treat my mother and how I would treat my husband. Now, then the other piece is I got to be open to him sharing with me what he would like for me to do to better or things that he likes. But that common theme of being respectful and loving should already be there.
I guess what I'm saying.
I mean, and I hear what you're saying too, but I'm just saying that I think it's a small.
The percentage
and that
is
ain't
not
even
that
right
big.
for me to say because I don't
not
even know what the percentages are.
I'm not saying that they're coming from a broken place.
No,
I'm saying
I understand what you're talking about.
do too.
I do not believe every man stepping in the game knows how to treat a woman.
I agree.
I
There's a
also
percentage.
know. I also believe that what you desire or require for him may be different.
Right.
And the way we tell him may be different, and the way he receive it is going to make a difference too. You know, there's a book about love language, and some people love language is, if you buy me X, Y, and Z, I know you love me. Or if you affirm who I am, I know you love me. Or you need to stroke me with kindness, love, and blah, blah, blah. From the person who is most knowledgeable and educated, you could see them failing at their relationship because they're not given to the person who does not have those credentials. They lack that ability to meet the need of their woman because of being selfish. That piece about how they were raised and all of that, ooh, that is poignant because we emulate what we see.
Yeah. There's
some men that are broken that bring that into the relationship. And I see from the outside a couple situations where, you know, the man has allowed the woman to be in the driver's seat, for example.
Because he's seen it at home.
Because you've seen it at home. Or you don't know how else to operate in the relationship.
Right.
But to let somebody else have control over it. It is, I do believe that what I want from my mate, I'm going to have to say, hey, I like when you did X, Y, Z. Versus saying, you don't ever.
Right, how you communicate.
You don't do that. Why you go and do X, Y, Z? You know, so I that is my way of saying to my significant other, keep doing what you're doing. Because I like it. I like the way you do for me.
Right.
I like.
Exactly.
Brings out ecstasy.
We got a bunch of singing women in the house. I love it. I'm surprised I ain't breaking out in song. Y'all can do it for me today. But no, that's really good conversation. I mean, and I do understand where you're saying, Sassy. I understand what everybody is saying.
Sassy and Cassie on the same page.
They
with that.
are. Y'all on the same page with it. My only point was that, you know, there's cases too where people just make a decision, and maybe that's a part of the dysfunction as well.
It is, right?
That's a part of the dysfunction. I either ain't making a decision, I know it, I'm stubborn, I won't do it, whatever the case may be. So I think we're all saying the same thing, right? Can I ask another question that is not on the deal? So if we know that there's a shortage of black men, right, and we heard the incarceration piece, all of that. What about the men that date white women or non-black women? How do y'all feel about that? They're eligible, they're good, they're solid, but then they don't come to the black woman. What about that? How y'all feel about that? And I'm talking non-black African-American woman. I don't care if she Hispanic, she ain't black.
Well, we don't have a man to speak on his.
He coming.
Desire.
He on his way. But we want to hear from the women's perspective. He'll DJ, you can chime in too.
I can chime in.
Well, listen, I may have to back up. I'm Facebook Live, and I got a lot of situations, girl.
I mean, what do y'all think about that? What does that say to the black woman? What is the black man saying to the black woman when he leaves her and he goes to a non-African American woman? What is he saying?
He may not be specifically saying that we don't have value, but that's the way it comes across.
It comes across like he says you are not valuable.
There are some men that absolutely, they say, I will not date a black woman, and they have their reasons, whatever. But when I have looked at it, you know, and for a while, you know, I never had a problem with it. It was just kind of like, whatever, if that's your preference. But now that I have gotten older and I have had to be in that space where I'm realizing that the pool of black men is dwindling for me, I kind of feel some type of way about it the more that I see a black man who says, I will not date a black woman. Okay. Well, what are you doing to continue on, you know, our race if you yourself are refusing to procreate, have a relationship with a black woman? That is cutting off who we are. So I do kind of feel some type of way. Now, let me say, because earlier, you know, there was a question of if we will date outside our race. I said yes, because now that the pool is, and I have dated, I have dated outside of my race, but I do come to that with a pause, because I feel